Hello everyone and welcome to F2 again. We are going to continue our accounting for materials. Today we are going to learn how we can minimize the total cost of inventory. Uh, One of the objectives of inventory control system is to actually minimize the total cost of inventory. So one of the objectives of inventory control system is to minimize the total cost of inventory. I'm going to list down the costs that are related to materials or inventory. As we have seen before, there are four main costs that are related to inventory. What are those four main costs? The first cost is your purchase cost, right? What is purchase cost? We are going to pay for the material to our supplier. So the price that we pay for the materials that we purchase is the purchase cost. The second cost that is included in the cost of inventory is your total holding cost, right? What is holding cost? After we have purchased the material, we are going to store that material in our warehouse. We are going to pay the warehouse keeper the salary, so all that cost is our holding cost. The third cost in the cost of inventory is your total ordering cost, and the last one is the stock out cost. If you add all of these four costs, you get the total cost of inventory. Now, the objectives of inventory control system is actually to minimize total cost of inventory instead of focusing on individual costs like purchase cost, total holding cost, total ordering cost. The objective is not to minimize the individual cost. The objective is to minimize the total cost of inventory. That's what we're going to learn today. Now, before we go into the calculation of the cost, I want to first illustrate what is the relationship between total holding cost and total ordering cost. So let's first see the relationship between these two costs. The relationship between total holding cost and total ordering cost. Now, the relationship between total holding cost and total ordering cost is inverse relation. What do you mean by inverse relation? Inverse relation means if the total holding cost is going to go up, the total ordering cost is going to go down. Okay, they are going to move in opposite directions. Similarly, if the total ordering cost is going to go up, the opposite will happen to holding cost and it will go down. So there is inverse relationship between total holding cost and total ordering cost. Now, we can illustrate this using an example. Let's see an example here. Let's say a business has a demand of 1000 units per year. Okay, a business needs 1000 units per year. Okay, and we are given two situations. Either a business can order 100 units every order, or it can order 500 units every order. Okay, so we have two situations. The first situation says whenever business is going to place an order, it's going to be of 100 units. Okay, and the second situation is whenever a business is going to place an order, it's going to be of 500 units. Now, how many orders a business will have to place if the ordering quantity is 100 units? So let's calculate that. In the first situation, when the ordering quantity is 100 units per order, we can calculate the number of orders. The number of orders is going to be 1000 units we need in total divided by 100 units that we place in every order. So the total number of orders we are going to make is 10 orders per year. Okay, similarly, in second situation, how many orders are we going to make? We can calculate the number of orders in second situation where we are going to order 500 units. Number of orders are equal to 1000 units divided by 500 units for every order, and that gives us 2 orders per year. Now you can compare the number of orders for situation A and situation B. The number of orders for situation A is higher than number of orders for situation B. This shows us that ordering cost for the first situation is going to be higher. So we will have higher ordering cost in situation A, and we will have lower ordering cost for situation B. This is because in situation A we have 10 orders per year and in situation B we have only 2 orders per year. Now we can also see what will happen to our total holding cost. Now in situation A, I'm going to order only 100 units. That means I only need a smaller warehouse. So my holding cost will be lower in situation A. So I will have lower holding cost because I only need to store 100 units. But in situation B, because I'm going to order 500 units, so I will have to manage a higher number of units. I will have to store higher number of units. So therefore, my total holding cost will be higher in situation B. So this shows us the relationship between total holding cost and total ordering cost, and there is inverse relationship between total holding cost and total ordering cost. Now the same thing we can also illustrate using a simple graph. I have created a simple graph. On x-axis I have placed order quantity and on y-axis I have placed cost. So you can see the red line, which is total holding cost, and total holding cost is going to increase if I increase my order quantity. However, the opposite is going to happen to ordering cost, which is shown by blue line. So the blue line is going down with increase in order quantity. So it shows the opposite relationship between holding cost and ordering cost. Okay, so that's the relationship that you have to remember between total holding cost and total ordering cost. Now let's look at the economic order quantity. Now what is economic order quantity? Economic order quantity is the order quantity where the total cost of holding and ordering is minimum. Okay, we have just seen the relationship between total holding cost and total ordering cost. The relationship is opposite or inverse. So I have two choices. Either I can minimize the total holding cost or I can minimize the total ordering cost. But that's not one of our objectives. The objective is to minimize the total cost. Okay, so we have to find out an order quantity where the total of ordering cost and holding cost is minimum, and that is given by the economic order quantity. So we can define economic order quantity by saying the order quantity at which total inventory costs are minimum. Okay, now we are only focusing on the two costs, total holding cost and total ordering cost, out of 4 inventory costs. Now what are those 4 inventory costs? As we have seen before, the total cost of inventory is composed of purchase cost, total holding cost, total ordering cost, and the stock out cost. That gives us the total cost of inventory. Now in economic order quantity, we are not going to focus on the purchase cost. Why? Because we are going to consider, or we are going to assume that at any order quantity we are going to pay the same price to the supplier. So our purchase cost is not going to change. We are going to pay the same price, so no matter whatever is our order quantity, it's not going to affect our purchase cost. So therefore, in economic order quantity calculation, the purchase cost is irrelevant. Now the second assumption that we are going to make is there is no stock out cost. Okay, so we are left with only total holding cost and total ordering cost, and that's what we have to minimize. We have to minimize the total of total holding cost and total ordering cost using economic order quantity formula. Before that, let's list down the assumptions that we have made. The two assumptions we have made are purchase cost is constant on all purchase order quantities, and the second assumption we have made is there is no stock out cost. Okay, so therefore we are only dealing with total holding cost and total ordering cost, and the objective is to minimize the sum of total holding cost and total ordering cost. Now I'm going to give you the formula for economic order quantity calculation. The economic order quantity formula is 2 times CO times D over CH square root. Okay, now CO in this case stands for cost per order, D stands for total demand, and CH stands for holding cost per unit per period. Now The period can be per month, or it can be per week, or it can be per year. So you have to make sure that demand is in agreement with holding cost. If your demand is for 1 year, you need to take the holding cost per unit per year. Okay, if your demand is per month, so you need to take the holding cost per unit per month. So demand and holding cost needs to be in agreement with each other. Now let's look at how we can use this formula to calculate the economic order quantity, and we want to prove that at economic order quantity the total cost is really minimum. Okay, so let's look at an example. The example is demand is given as 25,000 units and holding cost CH is given as 6.4 per unit per year. Cost per order CO is given as $32 per order. Okay, and the requirement is calculate the total cost at order quantities of 300 units, 500 units and 600 units and determine which one is economic order quantity. So we have to calculate the total cost at 300 units, 500 units and 600 units. I have already created a table that I'm going to use for this question, and I'm going to show that table now. This is our table. Okay, now we have to calculate the total cost at 300 units, at 500 units and 600 units. In order to calculate the total holding cost, this is the formula that I gave you before. The total holding cost is calculated as average stock times holding cost per unit per period. I'm sure you have memorized it by now. And the total ordering cost is given as cost per order times number of orders. Okay, but before we can calculate the total holding cost and total ordering cost, we need to calculate the average stock, because that is what we are going to use in the total holding cost, and we are also going to calculate the number of orders, because that figure we are going to use in total ordering cost. So number of orders is given by demand over order quantity, and average stock is given by order quantity divided by 2. So let's first of all calculate the figures for 300 units. If my order quantity is 300 units, then how many number of orders I'm going to place? So that's going to be 25,000 units divided by 300. So if you do the calculation, you can get number of orders equal to, so if you do the calculation, you can get the number of orders equal to 83.3 orders. Okay, and average stock we can calculate by order quantity divided by 2. So if you do the calculation, order quantity is 300, you divide it by 2, you get 150. Similarly, for 500 units, we want to calculate the number of orders is going to be 25,000 units divided by 500. So if you do the calculation, 25,000 divided by, so if you do the calculation, 25,000 divided by 500, you get 50 number of orders. Similarly, if you want to calculate the average stock is going to be order quantity divided by 2. The order quantity is 500 units, so 500 divided by 2 is 250. Okay, now if your order quantity is 600 units, number of orders is going to be 25,000 units divided by 600, so you get 25,000 divided by, so you get 25,000 divided by 600, which is equal to 41.6. Okay, and we are going to calculate the average stock. Average stock is 600 divided by 2, which is 300. Okay, now let's calculate the total holding cost and total ordering cost for each order quantity. So total holding cost is average stock times holding cost per unit per period. The average stock we have already calculated as 150, and the holding cost per unit per period is 6.4. So you have to multiply 150 with 6.4. So if you do the calculation, your cost is going to be 960 here. Okay. Similarly, if you do the calculation for 500 units, your total holding cost is going to be 6.4 times 250, which is equal to $1,600. 1,600. If you do the calculation for 600 units order quantity, it's going to be 300 times 6.4. So it's going to be 1920. 1920. Okay. Now let's calculate the total ordering cost. Total ordering cost is given by cost per order times number of orders. So cost per order is given as 32 and the number of orders we have already calculated here. So the first order quantity is going to be 83.3 times 32, this one. So you can calculate using 32 times 83.3 is going to be 2665.6. Okay. We can calculate the total ordering cost for 500 units is going to be 32 per order times number of orders are 50. So 32 times 50 is 1600. 1600. And the total ordering cost for 600 units is going to be number of orders, which is 41.6 times the cost per order is 32, and it gives us 1331.2. Now we have to calculate the total cost. Total cost is just the sum of total holding cost and total ordering cost. So for 300 units, the total will be 960 plus 2665.6, and it gives us 3625.6. Similarly, the total for the 500 units, the total cost is equal to $3,200, and the total for our third order quantity, which is 600 units, is equal to 1331.2 plus 1920, and it is equal to 3251.2. Now if you look at the total cost for these three situations, which one is minimum? We can see the total cost minimum is $3,200, and it is for the order quantity of 500 units. So our total ordering cost and total holding cost is minimized at 500 units, and that is our economic order quantity. Now you have to make sure that you remember the total holding cost and total ordering cost will be equal always at economic order quantity. So that's one of the hints, that's one of the things that you have to remember. Total holding cost and total ordering cost are always equal at economic order quantity. But this situation does not apply to other order quantities. You can see that they are different for 300 units, and the total holding cost and ordering cost is different for 600 units. However, for economic order quantity of 500 units, the total holding cost and total ordering cost is equal to each other, and the sum of both is minimum. Okay, so this is the conclusion that we can draw. Now we want to know whether economic order quantity formula also gives us 500 units as economic order quantity. So let's put the values in economic order quantity formula. So what is the economic order quantity formula? The formula is 2 times cost per order times demand over CH, where CO is cost per order, which is 32 per order. Okay, demand is 25,000 units, and CH is our holding cost per unit per period, which is 6.4. So if we put the values in, we get 2 times 32 times 25,000 units over 6.4 square root of all. So if you do the calculation, you will get the 500 units, which is economic order quantity. So that's our answer for economic order quantity.